Hello and welcome to We Go Deep with Kat and Sara. Today's episode is called What If Nothing Was a Problem? What
What
if?
if? What if?
What if?
Or we could just jump to say there's no such thing as a problem.
No such thing as a problem. My word, Kathleen Perry, that's a big statement.
Prove it. Prove it. What is a problem, Sarah Joy?
Hmm.
I mean, if we're going to talk about whether,
Yeah.
whether there is or isn't such a thing, we probably should define what the thing is we're talking about.
What is a problem? Well, I'm not sure I've ever actually thought about what a problem is. So this is
Here
great.
we go.
Live in the moment.
Yeah, here we go.
Um,
This is how we roll.
it is, isn't it?
Yeah, like we we pretty much think we have something valuable to talk about, but until we hit record, we don't really know what's coming out. But I propose that, yeah, let's define the way we see it. Okay. Can't get it wrong. It's just
Yeah.
how we see it.
First thing coming to mind is a problem is something you want to fix, something that needs action. But as I say it, I'm like, I don't know that's really true. Because I could have, say, a lawnmower, maybe my lawnmower's broken. Is it a problem? Because a problem sort of like you it sort of assumes a negative feeling. Like I'd have to be upset about my lawnmower being broken, but just the fact of the lawnmower being broken and no longer working, I don't know if that's a problem. It's more like, well, it's something where I can either investigate, can I fix it or buy a new one?
Mhm. I'm seeing, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm seeing that uh, a a problem, one way I'm seeing a problem is that it is a construct. It's something created with thinking, with concepts, with language, with so take the lawnmower's broken. Like,
Problem.
well, okay, so I don't know anything about lawnmowers, but do they have like a carburetor or something on it? I don't know.
No,
No, they don't.
no.
Okay. Well, here's what I know. If there's no gas in a gas powered lawnmower, you're not going to be able to cut your grass.
And that's a problem.
Okay. So back to problem is created with thought. It's a construct, it's a concept. Because in the world of form, there's this lawnmower, and in order to operate it, it's a gas powered, so it has to have gas in it. So there's a lawnmower. I want to cut my grass. There's a lawnmower in my garage, uh, and there's no gas in it. So the problem arises when I use thought and language and create something. I create this situation. If you came over to my house and I unscrewed the gas cap and I said, "Look, Sarah Joy, there's no gas in there," and you go like, "Yeah, so what? You're not interested in cutting my grass or your grass, no problem."
As I was jokingly calling things a problem, and then before, as you were talking, and I was labeling or deeming things, that's a problem. I realized that in order for something to be a problem, we have to label something as bad or wrong, or we have to look out in the world and see a situation or something that is in the world and say that should be different.
There. Very beautiful. I love that. Right?
Actually, I think we even have to do more than that because you can look out and say your gas powered thing should be different because I would like it to have gas in it. It's not really a problem. You just go buy gas and you put it in. But I think you have to label it as should be different and it's bad that it's not. So you have
Or
to,
good, but yeah, I guess right. The word problem inherently is bad.
so
Needs
yeah,
needs to change, needs to be fixed, isn't okay the way it is right now. Like it is what it is. There's this there's this lawnmower and the gas tank is empty. Is what it is. Inherently, that's not a problem till we decide there's something that needs to change because what is isn't acceptable.
well, even if it's something that has to change or you would like it to change, it's really not a problem. It's more of a to-do list.
Yeah, good
Or
point. Okay, it
it's an
becomes
action list.
so it does then become what we I like what we're getting to here. Problem then implies don't like it, want it to be different. The way it is isn't okay. Um Bad, negative, I don't know.
Something negative about it rather than, you
Yeah,
know, the
gotta
door.
go. Yeah, gotta get in the car with the plastic gas container thingy. Go to the gas station, buy some gas, bring it back to the house, pour the gas into the lawnmower, cut my
Mhm.
grass. If I didn't have thinking about that action plan, if I just got my car keys, grabbed my purse with my credit card, drove up to the gas station, brought the gas home, put it in the, like, where's the problem?
Yeah.
Actions were taken, right? There was something I wanted to get done. Wanted my grass cut. Just had a few extra steps that I wasn't planning on.
And a lot of times it looks like we need to make something into a problem to take action on it.
Hmm.
It's actually easier if you don't make it into a problem with your thinking because you just look at, okay, this, the doorknob broke off. I would prefer a new doorknob. Great. Let's go buy one or whatever. I was on the weekend at I'm an official for a weightlifting competitions. I was debating on how much I wanted to say about the scenario. So I was working as an official at a competition on the weekend, and there was another official who acted in a way that I was bothered by. And I debated, should I say something to the higher organization or not? And I found myself making it into a problem and getting upset about it. And I thought, oh, I could just let this go and not saying anything. I could just, who cares? But then I realized I actually heard myself told myself in my head, sort of wisdom came to me. You don't need to make this a problem. His behavior was something that I find crossed a boundary for me, mildly. But I realized that if that was the way that I was going to be spoken to, I probably wouldn't want to volunteer again because it just was inappropriate. And so I realized in that separating, oh, I don't have to be upset about it, but I do want to talk about, I do want to send an email about my experience and leave it at that, see what happens. But yeah, and that's where I started down the road of like, oh, is anything a problem?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Only if we create something called a problem in our thinking, in our, we have to tell a story. about, like, there is the actuality, you know, person made a comment, you know, and sometimes that can be really straightforward. It was, say it was a blatant fabrication. Everybody would agree. That's the fact. The problem comes along when we tell a story about that. And then you saw the difference. Like, in I think we have to go to imagination. We have to go and make up a
Mm.
story, except which is different than what happened, what's right here. And then you take an action or you don't.
Yeah,
Like the lawnmower. There's no gas in it. Do I want to cut the grass? Yeah. Can I tell a story about shouldn't be? I don't have time to go to the gas station. Yep. I can I can tell that story, or I can just do the thing. Get in the car, go get the gas. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with making problems. We do it all day, every day. Like, that's included also. That's what is. Like what's where suffering comes from, I think,
mm,
Dr. Sarah Joy, is that we turn some things into a problem and then we make ourselves wrong and we judge ourselves for doing that. Oh, just okay. I got cranky when I realized I had to get in the car, and it took me an extra 20 minutes to get my grass cut because I had to go get gas. So I did. So I told a story and I was in a cranky mood, but I went and got the gas and the job got done. But if I would walk around the rest of the day like, oh, I turned that into a problem. I shouldn't have done that. God, get your act together, Kathleen. Like, making more problems on top of problems. Once we're on to ourselves, like, oh yeah, there I go again. Haha, see some humor in it. Look at how we make problems. We're little problem making machines. We do that all day long.
yeah. It
Aren't
gives
we just cute little messes? Mhm.
it gives me a level of joy to think that I have the freedom to make problems if I want to.
Mm,
And I don't have to. It's easier if I don't. But I can. I told you about another person today that I was annoyed with. And
uh-huh.
and just now in our talking about I was enjoying being annoyed. But really what is that I felt someone was saying things that were factually inaccurate. And not in a malicious or bad way, just a scientific way. So is that a problem? Not really.
Yeah.
Not unless I go into my imagination and, oh, but this will happen and that'll happen and this will happen. Well, I have no idea.
You said something. Okay, you said something that really kind of made me chuckle because I'm like, oh shit, me too. Like, we sort of enjoy, like you were saying, like, it's isn't
Yeah.
it isn't it fun, isn't it curious, like we actually can do that. We can actually create problems out of nothing. Here's what is, and we can turn it into a problem. But we don't have to, and we do. And I think the more that we're onto ourselves and the more that we realize we don't have to do that, I think it's, you know I think it's a nicer way to experience life, with making up fewer problems, especially when it comes to other people, you know? So, And then you can present the scientific facts to the person who's just, not seeing it the way it actually is, or not. You can.
Yeah, I wondered about that, and then I thought, I don't feel the need to. It's an area where there's differing opinions or, so it, with the first case, I took away the problem and realized, no, I do want to say something because that's boundaries. Well, just, I wanted to say something. In this second case where I was enjoying being annoyed. But when I took away the thinking and the emotion by realizing there's no problem, I didn't I didn't actually want to take any action, and there was nothing to do. I'd made it all up. Yeah. I could have more time in my day.
Yeah. So I think kind of meta, like underlying this conversation, is this idea of reality and imagination. What is versus imagination, and how problems can only exist in imagination.
Yeah,
And when we live in our imagination, I mean, like you said, it can be kind of fun for a little while, but it also can create, I mean, it can result in a lot of suffering.
yeah,
So just to be able to see the difference, like that right there, if we could go about our day and just be aware, when are we aware of what's actually here, of what is, of this, and when is our consciousness giving attention to imagination, to just be able to tell the difference. Not that that one is right and one is wrong, because we're human and we have powerful, creative, well, I don't even want to say that, because I don't see it that way anymore, that we create thought. I think thought just is created. I don't think there's an us that does that, but we can give attention to this thought mechanism that makes up stories, and we can live in that imagination. And like you said, sometimes it's fun, but it's very powerful to see the difference. Am I giving attention to something imagined, or am I giving attention to reality, to actuality, to what exactly is here?
yeah. As you're talking, it occurred to me that the difference is, or an easy-ish way to tell the difference is if it's something that is imagination and in the direction of a problem, it's going to feel a negative feeling. If it's something that just is, it's neutral. Like,
Yeah.
my lawnmower is broken is kind of neutral.
Yeah.
The thought of I don't want it to be broken has a bit of tension to it. Or why is it always broken? There's a lot more tension to it. So
Mhm.
yeah, getting to know the feeling of, oh, that just is, versus
It's neutral. It's
Ver-
totally neutral.
versus what we've made up in imagination, whether it's good or bad, it'll have a
Exactly.
feeling of the good or bad that we've imagined.
Yep.
There is a definite, once you get used to it for yourself, there's a definite sort of, you'll spot it way faster. Like,
Hmm.
really good at the where's Waldo, oh, there's reality. There it is.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, the fun game.
And we're aware of it all. We're aware of the stories, the imagination, the good, the bad, the like, and it's all here. It's all included. We're aware of it all. What's here, what's actual, and then what's imagination and feelings. Mm-hmm.
And who we are, I think you're kind of, you're saying we're aware of it all. Who we are is bigger than, we're like, you talked about, we're the space that thoughts arise in. And
Yeah.
I don't know how literally true this is. It's just sort of coming to my mind, talking. I'm thinking aloud. I don't
That's
know.
what we do
I
here.
don't
That's
know
what we
how it's
do.
gonna sound when it comes out, but we're the space that the happenings of what happens, we're bigger than that. We're the space,
Mm-hmm.
the movie of life happens, but we're way bigger than that. I think that's literally true. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, I'm certain of it, Sarah Joy,
It,
because
it was more the
I
words I was using. I wasn't sure.
yeah, there's well, it finding words to describe it can be a little bit challenging, but everybody knows that they're alive. Everyone knows that they're aware of what's arising, everyone is knows that they're conscious of thinking and feeling and touching and tasting and smelling and imagined stories, and like everybody knows that they know. And that's
Mhm.
what we are, the knowing, the awareness that encompasses all of it, that all of it arises within.
Yeah. And then we do some really interesting things with that awareness or that consciousness.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we tend to direct focus and attention, we tend to attend to like a single object.
Yeah.
The attention, like it's a beautiful day here in South Texas. Hotter than I like for October 28th, but it's a pretty nice day. And fortunately, I have some people that cut my grass for me, and I don't own a lawnmower. But if I did, you know, um, like if I kind of zoom out, there's there's grass and it smells and I'd probably sweat a little bit if I was out there, and there'd be the noise of the lawnmower and the smell of freshly cut grass and my dog peeking out through the window, or this awareness can focus in on there's no dang gas in the gas tank, and in the midst of this whole what's just here, everything that's here, that actually is all neutral. It's like all the same until we label it with a story. Like it's too darn hot. 85 degrees is way too hot for October 28th anywhere. In North America, I mean in the northern hemisphere. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling. So I'll stop. I'll stop. Say something,
Does it
Sarah
need to be
Joy.
does it need to be a problem? The temperature.
No, not even rambling doesn't have to be a problem if I don't say it's a problem.
Yeah, no.
And someone who thinks I'm rambling that's listening can hit the hit the stop button. On to the next podcast.
I find when I look I think it's an expanded awareness. I'm not looking at any one thing, but I'm kind of expanding to sort of thinking about my whole life, my whole, maybe just even the area I live in, and thinking about all the different things happening and just what is about it. Everything, nothing starts to look like a problem. Nothing, the words were funny. Everything starts to look perfect and happening in its own good time and meant to be and a joy. And the joyous feeling of being alive comes through. So it's, yeah, everything is inherently neutral, but when I start to see, I guess, widening my own view of things, expanding, then I can feel that feeling of being alive more. But yeah, it begins to kind of infuse everything. I like that.
I, I think people might really want to disagree with this, but the way I see this, that I'm going to say, when or we are purely present to this here now, what is here right now, what is happening. And these eyeballs could be witnessing war, or something. And in this moment, that is what's happening. And there is a neutrality to it. It is what it is. It doesn't mean that there isn't action that should be taken. But so this joy or peace, or like I'm seeing less that um less that an experience or a feeling is who and what I am. It's just this pure, zoomed out, all inclusive awareness. And what can arise in that is joy or anger, but it's all just what's here. It's just this. And there's something, there's freedom in that, I guess. There's
Yeah,
a, there's just a freedom to just not have to change, not saying it in the next moment, I'm not going to run over and put a band-aid on the person who's bleeding, but there's just to just get real with reality, right? Really getting real with reality.
yeah.
Anyway, more ramble.
Last time was really real reality. That's really getting real with reality. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're really real with reality, where's the problem? Find the problem. It is what it is. Is there an action to be taken? Very, very well may be. Go get gas. Write the email. Go put a band-aid on the person who's bleeding. And on and on and on and on. But where's the problem? It's in imagination.
Only if you think it shouldn't be that way.
Say that again, please.
Well, like a problem's only if you think it shouldn't be that way. That person's bleeding. I shouldn't have to put a Band-Aid on.
Yeah.
Or whatever variation, but
Yeah.
it always comes down to it shouldn't be that way.
But it's fighting with reality, an argument with reality.
As opposed to, oh, that's the way it is.
Now what?
Common sense thing is to do, yeah. Yeah, now what? Or, I mean, do
Or
nothing,
not, or
nothing, and I'm not gonna ever cut my grass again.
yeah.
Anyway. Okay,
Well, do you think we solved the problem of problems?
I think we did. So we started
think-
off by saying, what if nothing is a problem? I think it's fantastic. And I think nothing is inherently a problem.
Yeah.
And if I want to have the fun of making one up, I can do that too.
Yeah. Oh, I know I will be. I promise you, probably before I go to sleep tonight, I
It'll be
will
5 minutes.
My vote. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
What if problems are just, what if a definition of a problem is a fight or an argument with reality?
yeah,
Like that's inherently how we would define a problem. It is what it is. There's this, what's arising right now. And then there's our, you know, argument with it, or, lack of acceptance, or, you know,
yeah. Which has zero to do with any action that you may or may not take.
yeah,
Yeah,
right, right.
cool. Well, thanks for
Very cool.
joining us. Thank you for joining us again with We Go Deep with Kat and Sarah. So next week, who knows what we will talk about.
We
Bye.
don't we don't know,
We
but we'll
don't.
see you then.
Bye.